Hey, where do you think you're going?
To the house, of course.
Who the devil let you in here? What are you doing here? I thought you were dead.
Zdravím vás, gamery, vážení diváci, vítajte v 10. epizóde Potulek potom Konečne, kde sme na veľkostatku, predpokladám, už to tak vyzerá. Túhali sme sa po farmách, nejaký quest bol zabugovaný, alebo neviem, či som to iba blbo splnil. Je to možné, každopádne vítajte na veľkostatku, tak čo nás tu čaká? Raul.
What do you want?
I want to join up with Lee.
Lee won't have much to say around here if he keeps on this way.
What do you mean?
He wants us all to sit around here and twiddle our thumbs. Intimidate a few farmers now and then, and that's it. Silvio always says offense is the best deal.
Aha.
I want to have a look around the farm.
Don't go into the building on the left. Silvio's in there. He's not in a good mood. If he sees a weakling who doesn't belong on the farm, he...
Dobre.
Who is Silvio?
Our next leader, if you ask me. If you plan on asking him if you can join us, you look like you're barely good for herding.
No tak... Jedá dobre, tak máš pravdu, som slabý, ešte potrebujem pár úrovní. Gunner.
What's up?
Since ONARov announced he was hiring mercenaries, the court's been overflowing with nothing but rogues. All the rabble who didn't have the guts to come out of the woods before are here now. The bastards really came from everywhere.
Can't go on like this forever.
What's up?
Since
Aha, to sme už počuli.
The mercenaries came from everywhere?
most of them came from the penal. Another group of mercenaries came from the south, where they were probably hunting orcs. I bet that a few of the bandits from the mountains have shown.
Takže predpokladám, že toto všetko je moja... ako to povedať? Moja vina. Toto je nejaká spoločenská miestnosť, alebo čo? Nie, to je spoločenská miestnosť, dobre, tu sa dá niekde... Tu sa dá vyspať podľa všetkého, ak by náhodou padla noc. Nazdar!
Hey! Hello, pretty girl.
Just where did you escape from?
They say you are revolting against the king.
My father has decided that it's time we defended ourselves. The militia never helped us anyway. They only came here to drag off our provisions.
To je také typické, no.
What kind of work is to be had here on the farm?
My father pays money to all the men who help defend the farm. Are you interested? You don't look like someone who has a power.
How much does your father pay?
You'd have to negotiate that with him. All I know is that each mercenary here gets paid every day.
Are there any rules here that I should stick to?
You don't touch anything here that isn't yours. You stay away from the areas that are none of your business.
To je fair.
And if you must pick a fight, stick to the mercenaries. If you start a brawl with the farmers, everybody here will be against you.
Dobre.
What's your job here?
I sell the goods that we produce. If you want to buy something, just let me know. But let me warn you, I won't stand for either haggling or stealing, understood?
Jasné.
Has anything significant happened lately?
A few days ago, my father decreed that we're no longer allowed to sell anything in town. So now I'm staying here on the farm and selling my wares.
Show me.
What can I offer you?
Aha, takéto veci. A akože zásoby, prečo nie? Ale mňa najviac zaujíma tamto. Dobrý den, pán Kováč.
I do not sell any weapons. Khaled does. He's in the house with...
A čo
What
vyrábaš?
kinds of weapons do you make?
Plain swords at the moment, not much else. But if I had some magic ore, I could forge weapons that are better than all comparable weapons made. You wouldn't happen to know where to find some around here. Besides, in the valley of mines, I mean.
No.
Of course not.
A?
Are you with the farmers or the mercenaries?
You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
I was just curious.
Have you ever seen a farmer who also forges weapons?
No.
Then why do you ask?
What about forging equipment?
What do you need?
Poď sem, poď. Jejda! Čo som si to kúpil? Čo som práve kúpil? Lahvička, ornament, to vyzerá dôležito. Niečo som kúpil a neviem čo. Niekedy ma to tu zabije. Dobre, dobre. Máme nejaké pochodne, v poriadku. Dobre. No, opasok nechcem. Nemá tu niekto nejakú zbroj, prosím?
Hello, I'm new here.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not really in the mood for conversation.
You're awfully busy, huh?
You can say that again. Bennett makes so many weapons.
What can you tell me about the farm?
This is ONAR's farm. That big building is his house. He vacated a wing. We farmers have had to bunk in the barn ever since, but it's all right with me. It's good that we have people. The building here is the kitchen. Maybe you'll be lucky and Thekla will have something.
Thekla?
What about the mercenaries?
ONAR hired them to keep the city militia off our backs. But they also guard the farm, so don't even think about stealing any. They're just waiting for a chance to knock you down.
Dobre. Trošku to...
Can I buy weapons from you?
I don't have much. We take almost all the...
Srp. Ó. Ozaj nejaký krumpáčik alebo niečo také by sa tu nenašlo. Aha, pardon. Keďže sa na mňa tak všetci pozerajú, to znamená, že tam nemám byť, že? Alebo... Počkaj, dom naľavo, tam je Silvio, že? Tam radšej neprovokovať. Čo ty tak sedíš?
Hey, you! Doing all right?
Hey, I know you. From the
Wolf!
colony. What do you want here?
Can you teach me anything?
I can teach you a few tricks in handling a bow if you want. I don't have anything better to do right now anyway.
Do you have anything to sell?
Oh, don't ask. Bennett, one of the new guys, takes care of the weapon. In the colony, I was responsible for Lee's. I desperately need a new job. Even if all I do is... I don't care. Just as long as I'm not twiddling. Get away with that.
And?
Not so far. Let me know if you have a job.
Takže niekto, kto môže ísť na niečo s nami?
Have you tried finding a job in town?
In the city? Or do you think I would want to work there as a militia soldier? And then that obsession with obedience.
Tak ale to máte aj tu, nie? Ukáž.
What should I teach you?
Ukáž, aké máš možnosti, aha. No ja mám radšej kušu, takže to sa naučím skôr v meste. Žoldnier, Cypher.
How are things?
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
It's possible.
I used to deal in swamp weed back in the colony.
To je on!
That was obvious.
And what are you dealing in now?
Don't ask. I brought a whole package of swamp weed with me from the mining colony. Many of the mercenaries like a little smoke now and then. I've earned but some bastard stole all the weed from my chest. I'm pretty sure it was that Bodo. He bunks in the same room as me.
What are you going to do about the thief then?
One of these days, I'll catch him puffing away on my weed. And then, I'll find a quiet spot, and if I knock him down here in the middle of the yard, the other farmers will notice, and I'll pay an arm and a leg.
How come?
Quite simple. We can't rough up the farmers, otherwise Lee makes us pay a head. And the more witnesses there are, the more... So I'll pull the thing off nice and inconspicuous.
Takže potrebuješ zistiť, či to bol on?
That's been known a long time.
Show me your...
I don't have any swamp...
O, čo máš? Primitívny meč, to nepotrebujeme. Teoreticky... pochodne do zásoby pre istotu. Chlapiku, rybia polevka, to máme, ďakujem. Niekto z nami tu. Bodov.
How's it going?
The militia has bullied us long enough. Now that the mercenaries are on our side, they won't... The king may think he can get away with anything. But we're not going to take it anymore.
Tak dobre, no.
In town, they're talking about a peasants' revolt.
Nonsense. We aren't doing anything except defending what we've worked hard for. It's certainly true that the war is being fought on the backs of the peasants. But ONAR is no longer prepared to...
Inak povedané, ONAR nechce platiť vysoké vojenské dane, že? Aspoň podľa toho, čo tu zachytávam.
Can I rest somewhere around here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the barn. ONAR makes sure that they leave us farmers alone. But with strangers who don't...
Dobre.
Cypher told me somebody stole a package of swamp weed from him.
And?
He thinks you're the one who took it.
Oh, that's why the guy is always gawping at me so
Presne
stupidly.
preto.
I've been extra friendly to him lately because he seems to have hit a rough spot. But there was nothing I could do. I'd look at him friendly-like and he'd stare at me like he wanted to kill me.
How's it going?
The militia has bullied up the...
Dobre, toto vyzerá, že to sú témy, ktoré sa nemenia. Toto je niekto... Torlofa.
What do you want from me?
Can you help me improve my abilities?
I could show you how to use your strength better in close combat.
Ah!
A lot of fighters are very weak because they don't have the technique to use their strength properly. The same is true for dexterity.
Tyjo, tak toto je miestny tréner na silu? Výborne. No, ešte na jednoručky by to chcelo niekoho. Dobre, predpokladám, že toto je ONARov dom. Je to ONAR, že? ONARov domov. Tak sa ideme pozrieť, či nás tam pustia. Teoreticky rozhovor s LEEem by mohla byť dobrá debata.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
To the house, of course.
ONAR pays us not to let guys like you in here.
I want to talk to Lee.
What do you want from him?
Pozdraviť ho.
He
and I go way back.
You're a pal of Lee's? I don't believe a word. But go on in. If he doesn't recognize you, you'll know it. Lee's in the right wing. Don't even think about wandering around anywhere else.
Čo, niekde je tam hromada zlata, ktorú by som mohol zobrať veľkostatkárovi? Pravé krídlo sa berie akože celá... Dobre, to vyzerá ako Lee. Nebudeme teda provokovať. Nazdar! Kľuci! Je tu Lee? Predpokladám, že henten je Lee.
Who the devil let you in here? What are you doing here? I thought you were dead.
What makes you think that?
Gorn told me it was you who brought down the barrier.
Yes, that was me, all right.
I never would have thought that a man could survive something like that. What brings you here? You aren't here without a reason.
Gorn told you about me?
To je pravda, nie, Gorn?
To him?
You remember him, don't you?
Jasne.
Sure.
He got caught by the Paladins and was sent back to the Valley of Mines with a penal convoy. If the road to the Valley of Mines wasn't plastered with Paladins and Orcs, I'd have sent a couple of the boys already to free him. But the way things are, there's no point. Poor devil.
Prečo akože zomrel?
What exactly are you doing here?
Quite simple. I'm gonna see to it that we all get off this island. Onar hired us to defend his farm, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. But our reward is more than just our pay. By helping the farmers, we cut the city off from its provisions.
To dáva
and
zmysel.
The less the Paladins have to eat, the sooner they'll listen when I finally make them an offer of peace.
What is your offer going to look like?
Essentially, it will be about our pardons and free passage to the mainland. You'll learn more when the time comes.
Ak sa nepridám k ním.
I absolutely must talk to the Paladins in town. Can you help me get to them?
What's your business with the Paladins?
That's a long story.
I've got time.
Povedz mu ho.
Zardos sent me on a mission. He wants me to obtain a powerful amulet, the Eye of Innos.
So you're still allied to that necromancer. I see. And the Paladins have this amulet?
As far as I know, yes.
I can help you get to the Paladins, but first you need to become one of us.
How can you help me get to...
Trust me, I'll take you to the Paladins, and you'll do me a favor. But first...
Akože ja chcem paladinskú zbroj, a keď budem jeden z vás, tak sa mi to nepodarí. Je v pořádku?
Everything fine with you?
If it's something important, go talk to...
Ak je to niečo dôležité, tak si pohovor s LEEem. Aspoň ja som tu väčší kámoš, on ma aspoň rešpektuje. Dobre, pre každý prípad dúfam, že to nie je automatické pripojenie k žoldnierom. Radšej by som bol súčasťou mestskej stráže, mne sa to viac páči.
I want to join you.
I'd hope you say that. The last mercenaries I accepted have done nothing but stir up trouble. In principle, you can start right away. Well, First, there's one or two things we need to get straight, but it's no big deal.
What do I have to get straight before I can join you?
Onar, the landowner, is the one who employs us. You can only stay on the farm with his approval. And then there's the boys. I can only accept you if a majority of the mercenaries agree that you join us. But don't go to Onar before everything is straightened out. He's a very impatient fellow.
Takže proste questy robiť.
By doing what is expected of you as a mercenary, I should say. Talk to Torlofa. He's usually outside in front of the house. He'll put you to the test. If you can pass that, you should have earned a large part of the necessary respect. He'll tell you everything else you need to know.
What do you know about...
I might have known. You just have to mingle in everything, don't you?
Come on, tell me.
I'm only marginally involved in this. I know that this secret guild exists here and that the water mages are behind it. Since the fall of the barrier, I am no longer bound to the agreement I came to with the water mages back then. Of course, I still help when I can, but most of the time, I have my own problems and barely any time for other. If you want to know more about it, you should probably talk to Cord. He's one of them, as far as I know.
A kde je Cord? Kde je Cord? Akože chápem to, že Cord nečúňte všetci na mňa? No, jediný problém, čo mám, je, že nemám tú parádnu zbroj zo konca Gothic jednotky. Dobre, kto si ty? Hej!
If you have a problem with wolves or field raiders, go talk to one of the younger mercenaries. You can come to me when the paladins show up here.
What?
Whenever one of you peasants comes to me, it's always...
I'm not a peasant.
Oh? What is it?
Teach me how to fight.
I only train mercenaries.
I want to become a mercenary.
You look more like someone who's been born to work in the field, boy.
Hey!
Can you wield a weapon then? So, how about one-handed weapons?
Well...
And two-handed weapons.
I'm surely gonna get better.
In other words, you're a damn greenhorn. Each mercenary needs to be able to... As long as you barely know how to wield a weapon, you're in the wrong place here.
Ale no tak, akože...
Teach me how to...
I only train...
Ale to...
I've heard that you belong to the Ring of Water.
What rat has not been able to keep his mouth shut?
Lee told me about it.
Looks like I've got a deal with you now, doesn't it? All right. So what do you need? And be damn careful about what you tell me.
Takto, k žoldnierom nechcem ísť. Nauč mne bojovať.
Teach me how to fight.
All right, what else?
I want your armor.
Say that again and you get...
I want your weapon.
That's it. You've got...
You could help me to...
I can just see it.
That's all.
That shouldn't be... And woe betide you if I hear that you can't keep your trap.
Teach me.
I can teach you to use...
Dobre, takže... takže tu sú jednoručné zbranie. Dobre, tak to sme ho trošku... To sme ho trošku doplietli.
What should I learn first?
Those two types of arms are rather similar. As soon as you reach the next level with one type of weapon, you automatically learn for the other as well. If, for instance, you're good at fighting with one-handed swords, but still a beginner with two-handed weapons, your two-handed skills will go up as well whenever you train with... If you train with one type of weapon only, you'll find the training more exhausting. If you always train both, you'll arrive at the same result with less effort. In the end, the outcome will be the same either way. It's your...
No dobre, takže Cord je tu ochotný nás trénovať. Trošku sme ho teda donútili nás trénovať. Mal sme sa pobaviť Torlofom. Čo je týmto smerom? Tento veľkostatok.
What are you smoking there?
Want a toke?
Jasne.
Sure.
Oh.
Not bad, huh?
Where did you get the stuff?
Secret. Tajomstvo, nie? Povie. Hej, chlape.
I have my sources.
No dobre. Už sa to spamätalo, ďakujem. Počkať. Cypher. Ja som myslel, že mu to môžem napraskať, ale asi nie. Počkať, ako to pomenujeme? Zdroj trávy, to je ono. Zase riešime tú poondiatú trávu. Zase to riešime. Nestačilo v jednotke, že som to riešil s tým poondiatým kútom. Ne, túto tu musíme vyriešiť poriadne.
Do you do anything besides smoke?
Not at the moment.
Cypher told me that someone stole a package of swamp weed from him. Would you know anything about that?
No.
Where's the package?
What do I know?
Môžem to teda povedať Cypherovi už teraz, alebo nie? A hlavne potrebujem...
Hey, you! I know who took your weed.
Who? Was it that Bodo?
No, one of the mercenaries did it. Dar.
That bastard. Where is he?
Finding him won't help you. He doesn't have the package anymore. He sold it in Venice.
Where is he?
Behind the kitchen building on the corner.
I'll flatten him.
Ako je to sa mohol s ním bojovať asi, že? O? Môžem?
Thanks for the go. I think I better take this weapon.
Dobre.
Nothing to be had there. Wait a minute. You really gave Dar what for? Are you feeling better now?
Yeah, that felt good.
Not to him, I suppose.
The little beggar has no business going through my chest.
I want to join Lee's...
Lee's people? If Lee keeps on this way, they soon...
Why?
Lee has always been a quiet one. It was that way in the colony, too. But lately, he's overdoing it. He just wants to sit here and wait until the paladins drop dead from starvation. Silvio thinks we should clean up a bit on the small farms and outside the city. I think that would make for an excellent change. At the moment, most of us are just twiddling our thumbs.
Tak uvidíme, no.
Blabbermouth, you told Cypher I took it.
Do you do anything?
Sometimes I let some vent.
I'll knock it out of you.
Relax, I'm way too stoned. Here, first take a big...
Aha. Dobre, môžem predať aspoň trávu. To je toto. Akože kaplnka. To sa myslím, že dobre predá. Áno, a vykecal som mu to ozaj. Lebo radšej Cypher nech je môj spojenec za koty. Ovečky. Čo by tu? Prečo ste pri spálenom dome? Akože je to tu zakliaté, alebo čo? Srp. Ozaj nejaký krompáč, alebo niečo také. Aj. A Asi nenájdem žiadny niekde zadarmo, že? Budem toto musieť poriadne preskúmať. Tu niečo? Nie je. No dobré, ako... Môžeme skúsiť ešte toho Torlofa však. Lebo nad ním nás poslal Lee. Teoreticky na to môže dať skúsenosti. Ako vyzeráme vlastne s tými skúsenostiami? Ešte dlhá štreka. No nevadí. Môžeme vyskúšať ozaj predať tie veci? Počkať. Počkaj, tu sú aj farmári.
The two of us should have a chat.
I wouldn't know about what.
Dobré.
How's it going?
Have I given you permission to address me?
Tak dobre, no.
What are you doing here in my kitchen?
Something smells delicious here.
Oh, yes. I know the likes of you. They're swarming all over first. They try to get on your good side.
No, tak pardon.
I'm hungry.
I don't dish out food to tramps. And that mercenary riffraff, of course.
I'm looking for work.
You want to work here on the farm? Only ONAR can decide.
Je to dobré.
I need a place to sleep.
Don't even think about...
No dobré. Farmár. Žoldnier.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
Jarvis!
It's possible. I was in the colony too.
Right. What do you want?
Ako to vypadá?
How's the situation?
Right now, we've got real trouble. Two factions are building up amongst us mercenaries. Silvio and his people doubt that Lee is following the right plan.
How come there are two factions?
Most of us came out of the colony with Lee back then, but some of the mercenaries hooked up with us later. They didn't come from the colony. Somehow they got wind that Lee needed people. Their leader was Silvio.
Tak to využili, aby sa
He
schovali.
agreed that Lee was in charge, but now he's trying to stir up the A lot of Lee's people don't think that it's a big problem, but I know guys like Silvio. He'll go to extremes to realize his ideas.
Do you know what Lee's intentions are?
Lee wants us to wait, and he is planning to get us all away from the island. And I don't really know how he's planning to go about it, but I trust him.
Do you know what Silvio is planning?
Silvio found out that some of the paladins have moved out to the old colony. He says the rest of the paladins wouldn't dare to attack us here and plunder the small farms, but Lee thinks that would be the worst thing we could do in our situation.
I want to become a mercenary.
I'm not sure that...
Where's the problem?
Well, I either have to vote for you or against you. And in the situation we're in, I'll only vote for you if I can be...
So what should I do?
Simple. Beat up a few of Silvio's boys. That way both sides will know exactly where you stand.
No,
and if you stick to the rules for a duel, you'll even win the respect of the others.
Aké sú
What are the
pravidlá?
rules for a duel? Go to Torlofa and let him explain it if you're interested. Just so we understand each other. I don't care if you stick to the rules or not. Just as long as the boy...
Aha.
Which of the mercenaries are Silvio's men?
There are 6 men. First of all, Silvio himself and his right-hand man, Bulco. Then there's Rod, Sentenza, Fester, and Raoul. The rest of the people are either neutral or on Lee's side.
To je pekné.
How many of Silvio's people should I defeat?
If you knock 3 of them to the ground, then you've proven which side you're on. Whom you choose is your... Just one little hint. This isn't about proving your courage. Don't go up against Silvio himself. He'll make mincemeat out of you.
No dobré. Prečo ozaj všetci na mňa čumíte? Toto vyzerá ako... No dobré, no. Už padám, nespokojenci. Je to tvoj problém. Dobre, pán Torlof. Pán. Torlof. Tak sa ukáž, čo potrebujeme. No akože, urobíme nejaké questy samozrejme.
What are the rules for a duel?
Quite simple. Both opponents have to have the opportunity to draw their weapons before the first blow. You can't just go and belt one of the men without warning.
To dáva zmysel.
There has to be some sort of spoken challenge, an insult, or another reason to fight. None of the other men will interfere in a fight like that, unless one of the two gets killed in the duel.
I want to improve my abilities.
Dobre, trénuj. Aj vlastne, hej.
I want to join the mercenaries.
Oh, and why do you think I should be in favor of you being accepted here?
Poslal ma Lee.
Put me to the test.
Did Lee send you to me?
He said you would help me.
Fine, so here we go. There are two things you have to do before you can join us. First, you have to prove that you're capable of mastering the tasks that you will have to fulfill as a mercenary. I'll put you to the test. And second, you have to earn the respect of the other mercenaries.
That's not what I heard. I'm not telling you anything new.
Well, how can I earn the respect of the other mercenaries?
For most of them, it'll be enough if you fulfill your task and pass my test. But you'll have to find some other way of convincing some of them. Some will try and exploit your situation, and others may not like your mug. You should try to get along with as many of the boys as possible. But if nothing else helps, then you can always take part in a duel. If you win, you'll earn the respect of most of them. But watch out that you don't kill one of them by accident, because then you'll have a big problem.
To sa mi asi stalo, čo? Pri Bronkovi.
How's my reputation?
Let's see. Wolf says he has nothing against Jarvis. Still isn't sure if you're on the right side. He doesn't want more people dancing to Silk. Cord thinks you'd be good enough to join. Cypher says that you owe him a little favor, and that Sentenza will vote for you. He says you were a very... Raul's against you. I think he can't stand you. I don't need to say anything about Sylvia. Buster said you chickened out when he challenged you. That's not a good idea. Maybe you should go back to... And Dar says you're a blabbermouth. But his vote doesn't count. The rest of the mercenaries haven't said anything. Most of them are just waiting to see if you pass the test. You're far from done, kid.
Dobre.
What are my duties as a
Onar hired us for two reasons. He wants us to keep them. That includes collecting the rent when the small... So, what...
I never knew that.
You can't rely on that.
I'm not touching that. Do you? Let me collect the rent.
Good. Listen. The farmer Sekov hasn't paid his rent to Onar. Onar wants him to cough up 50 gold pieces. And
Where is Sekov's farm?
In the north of the valley. Looking from here, if you have problems, the farmer's in the field.
No dobre, no tak to sme teda dopadli. A keď príliš sa mi nechce. Ozaj, keď sme už to...
What can I...
Nebude vadiť, keď aj to predám. Dobre, tohto sa zbavíme. Nepotrebujeme také zboží pri sebe. Aj tohto sa zbavíme. Paráda. Tak, to sme si trošku zarobili, zbavili sme sa. To znamená, že teraz čo budeme robiť? Lebo príliš... sme to nezistili. Môžeme ísť akože naspäť na Sekobovú farmu. Počkaj, pozrieme sa na mapu. Čo tu máme? Čo je to dole takto pod nami? Nejaká väža na mape, alebo čo to je? Mala by to byť nejaká cesta ktadiaľ. Tak uvidíme. A, tamto. To sú len ovce? Dobre, takže priateľská zóna zatiaľ. Jo, tam to začína byť opevnené. Dobre, priateľská zóna. Pozrite na to. Predpokladám, že tu končí priateľská zóna. Nejaká fakla. Známky. Drevorubec. Asi hej, drevorubec.
Hey. Everything all right?
An unfamiliar wanderer.
I am very busy, so what do you want?
What are you doing here?
Well, the things a woodcutter and hunter usually do.
What interesting things are there to see here?
Interesting is well put. If you go deeper into the woods here, you'll run into some... They're about 10 feet tall, hairy, and in a really bad mood.
Aha.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
Sure. But first, get me something decent to eat. I want a bottle of milk, a loaf of bread, and a fat ham.
No dobré, no tak Nevadí mu to. Zlato vezmem. A kľúč vezmem. Síru vezmem. Dýku ti nechám, aby si nepovedal. Dobre, takže tu je drevorubáč, potrebujem mu doniesť niečo na jedlo, prečo nie? Myslím, že som tam videl ozaj vlkov, takže miesto, kde môžem trošku potrénovať v budúcnosti, poza kameru. Je to vlk? Počkať. Hej, je to vlk. Dobre. Takže som rád. Nejakú... Možno... Akože je to veľké okolie, takže teoreticky 1-2 úrovne by sme mohli nájsť, že? Potrebujeme silu a jednoručku vylepšiť, akože potrebujeme to veľmi nutne, inak sa neposunieme. Najlepšie bolo získať nejakú zbroj, ale podľa všetkoho, čo vidím, zdá sa, že zbroj novú dostanem až keď sa pridáme k nejakej frakcii, by som povedal, lebo v krčme nebola lepšia zbroj. Ja myslím, že až keď sa pridáme k nejakej frakcii. Ak vôbec. Dobre, čo je toto? Aha. Akože... Niekam to vedie. A nejaký týpek. Vežička. Vežička na kopci. Tak sa pôjdeme pozrieť. Hlavne, či tu... Vidím iba jedného týpka. Je tu niekto ďalší?
Halt! You can't go through here.
I want to talk to your leader.
Oh, I see. You want to talk to my boss. Well, then of course I'll let you through. But only if you know his name. Because if you don't, I'll be obliged to kill you. Well?
Diego?
You're in for it. Right. No, that was just a joke. So there's no reason why I... So much for you, lowlife.
No výborne. Tak predpokladám, že tam asi nemám ísť. Lí to logicky nebude, toto vyzerá na banditov. No a ako prečistí človek zase tu tento tábor? Dá sa ísť sem? Dá sa ísť sem. Nazdar.
There's only one way for you to get into our camp alive, and that's over the bridge.
Nobody ever asks me.
Do you need it pounded into you? Take
things I could tell you.
So,
don't babble at me. If that's the way you want it.
I've got no time for things like that.
He should have. So much for you, lowlife.
No, tak toto bude poriadny problém. Dobre, ale kam sa teda môžeme ešte vydať? Ako... Vidím to tak, že jedine budem môcť... Ešte môžeme ísť niekam na sever, na tú Bengarovú farmu. A viete čo, to si necháme do ďalšej epizódy. Takže ľudia, ďakujem za sledovanie tejto epizódy. Zase trošku primárne kecacie, ale zase spoznali sme žoldnierov. Dozvedeli sme sa nejaké informácie. A takže ďakujem za sledovanie, prajem pekný deň, príjemné hranie. Majte sa!